Hi guys, and welcome to Gas City Gaming's Warhammer 40k 8th edition kind of reveal overview. Today we'll be looking at the shooting phase, which they kind of spoiled, I guess you could call it today, and how it's changed, what we have that's new, what we have that's still kind of around, what we have that's changed totally. Now they did make another announcement yesterday. I'm filming this on Sunday, the day they talked about the shooting phase. They had another announcement yesterday on Saturday about a new war zone, kind of just a little fluff piece to go along to interrupt the actual rules and info that are coming out. So the next phase that's coming out, or sorry, the next war zone that's coming out is Armageddon. Going back to Armageddon, so this is the umpteenth war of Armageddon now. Kind of everybody's in there. Just, it's in a bad spot. It's kind of like Cadia. Stuff's going to happen at Armageddon. You can't name a planet Armageddon and expect this is going to be a real nice, peaceful farm planet. What are you going to call it? Armageddon. You don't want to call it like Newberry or, you know, something peaceful. No, it's going to be called Armageddon. We're going to have a really good, peaceful farming community on Armageddon. Anyway, continuing into the news today, the shooting phase, the pew-pews. So what's changed? So this is kind of continued from the movement phase video, but just like I said in there, they hadn't confirmed it at that point, but I had pretty much assumed. If you didn't watch the movement phase video, running is now no longer in your shooting phase. Running happens in your movement phase. You nominate a unit to move. You roll, okay, I'm going to advance is a new term, this unit. So you roll a d6, add that onto their movement. That's how far they move. But now units who have advanced in the movement phase, so who've ran in the movement phase, can no longer shoot. Also, if you begin your turn with a unit engaged with an enemy unit, and that unit chooses to retreat from combat, chooses to fall back, that unit can also not shoot at anyone, right? That would be a little bit too overpowered. If you're a shooty army, you're able to retreat and even shoot with that unit. Never mind all the other units that aren't engaged can still shoot at that enemy unit that you started the turn engaged with. So you can also, obviously, can't shoot at an enemy if you're within 1 inch of them, unless, this one's where it gets interesting, unless you have a pistol equipped on your model. So what this means is that models with pistols, this is what they quote from the GW article, models with pistols can shoot at, quotes here, closest enemy target in shooting phase, even if locked in combat. So if I have my unit of assault marines with pistols and chainswords, they can all shoot their pistols at the unit that they're engaged with during the shooting phase. Yeah. Units, they have their sergeant, you give a plasma pistol. He can shoot his plasma pistol in the shooting phase at the unit he's engaged with. Yeah, that seems pretty big. So now those, your shoot-a-choppa orcs, your, like I said, assault marines with bolt pistols and chainswords, they get so many more attacks now. That's going to be ridiculous. They got their shooting and their assault. No news on yet, at least, on whether or not we're still getting bonus attacks for having 2 weapons. If we do, oh my goodness, it's ridiculous. The thing about that is you can't shoot units that are in combat with other units. So here I have a unit. Here I have a unit of Space Marines, and then over here I have Space Marines engaged with orcs in a close combat. These Space Marines with their bolt pistols and chainswords can shoot at these orcs, but these Marines cannot shoot into this combat with these orcs. You can only shoot at units that you're engaged with. You can't shoot into a combat from outside of that same combat. So you can, though, like I said before, like if you've watched the movement video, you can fall back. So here we have our unit of Space Marines engaged with our unit of orcs. These Space Marines can retreat from combat, then allowing this unit of Space Marines to shoot at these orcs. Because that retreat happens in the movement phase, we move to the shooting phase, pew-pew into those guys, right? Another interesting little tidbit that came out was that heavy weapons will no longer be snap firing if you move them. So your rocket launchers, your las cannons, everything like that just became a lot more mobile. There is a penalty still, but all it is you get a -1 hit modifier. So if we take a look at our Space Marine stat line, normally they have Blisk skill of new Blisk skill says 3 up to hit for their Blisk skill. So the -1 modifier means you have to roll a 4 up to hit instead. So moving your heavy weapons just got a ton better. Whether or not you involve them in a dedicated Devastator squad, or you throw in a couple las cannons and you're using a tacticals, they just got a lot better. Now, the interesting thing that they included in this is the the penalty of having a -1 hit modifier on your unit is involved whether or not the unit is infantry or vehicle. So it applies, exact quote from the article again, it applies to everything with heavy weapons, including vehicles. So what vehicles are going to have to snap shoot what? Are we doing this instead of the, if it's this type of vehicle, you can fire 2 weapons, and if you move, you can fire 1 weapon at full ballistic skill, and then 1 at snap shooting, and so it'll be interesting to see a little more detail on that, how that comes about. But also, the next thing they changed really big that I like, that I appreciate, is cover. Cover is now a armor save modifier, right? It's not an additional save, it's a armor save modifier. So if I'm sitting in a crater, for example, with my unit of Assault Marines, they're going to charge the next turn, and you want to shoot them down before they get there. Originally, my Assault Marines will have a 3-up save, but because they're in the crater, they get a +1 to that save. So my Assault Marines just got a 2-up armor save. Seems good. However, the ability to, if we went over, again, if you watch the weapons video, you'll see the new weapons can also modify that save. Rather than having an AP value, they also modify your save. A las cannon, for example, gives a -3 save modifier. So we'll use our example again. My Assault Marines are sitting in a crater. Assault Marines, by default, have a 3-up save. They sit in the crater, giving them a 2-up save. I shoot at them with a las cannon, hits, wounds. That gives them a -3 modifier, turning their 2-up save into a 5-up save. So, well, you will assume, let's say scouts, for example, are wearing scout armor, so a 4-up save. If I use a las cannon against a scout, their 4-up save turns into no save. But if scouts are sitting in a crater, 4-up save turns into 3-up, turns into 6-up by shooting at them with a las cannon. So you can see it's all just doing a little more math, but there's not, okay, what save are you going to take? I'm going to take my cover save, or I'm going to take my armor save, my invul save, and then, of course, feel no pain after that. We haven't heard about feel no pain, whether that's going to be a thing or not. As a Necron player, I'm very interested to hear that. Well, Necron amongst other things. Player, I'm very interested to hear what's going to go on with that rule. So the ability to gain your armor modifier from terrain only applies to certain units in certain types of terrain. If you have some crater terrain, for example, or you designate a terrain, this is going to be a crater. Maybe it's not an actual little crater template thing, but okay, that's a crater. Infantry are the only units that can take advantage of an additional armor save modifier in a crater. So if I tuck in my Rhino into that crater, or for example, okay, we had a Dreadnought. We saw that stat line spoiled already. So our Dreadnought has a 3-up save. If my Dreadnought jumps in that crater, it does not get any additional modifier to its armor save. It stays a 3-up. It's too big to hide in a crater. Doesn't make sense, so it doesn't get an additional save. Only infantry can get hiding in that crater. That was the only example we were given today, but I'm led to believe, that makes me think that, if you have a building, okay, maybe a vehicle can hide behind a building and get a modifier to save that way. That being said, maybe infantry get +2 modifier if they're hiding in a building. Of course, this is going to cap out at 2+. I would certainly hope so, at least. That's what they've done in Age of Sigmar, at least. And if you've watched the other videos, you'll notice that a lot of the Age of Sigmar stuff is starting to cross over because they've play-tested this all, and the Age of Sigmar system that's around now has really been researched and played through and found out to, be pretty good, actually, if you watch some games. Don't let that scare you. Don't let that scare you, guys. So you'll apply your modifiers. So if I'm in a cover, use my example again, we're hiding in a crater. So 2-up save, shooting it, hit, wound with a las cannon, -3 to 5-up. Now I roll my save. I have to have my 5-up or better to save that unit of Assault Marines. That's when you roll your save. There's no super complicated stuff. You go plus, minus, whatever, in whatever order you want, and that is what you end up for your save. The last thing I have for you guys for today is that some weapons will ignore cover bonuses. That will still exist. 2 specific examples they gave are the sonic weapons of Noise Marines and Leman Russ Nova cannons. I believe Noise Marines weapons ignored cover before, so that's thinking over whether or not that rule is going to continue over to everything else that ignored cover before that will ignore cover now. We don't know. I know we had the Flamer weapon kind of stat line spoiled already. What it didn't say in that, or whether or not it ignores cover like it did before. So we'll see, guys. There's a lot of stuff still to come out. Tomorrow they are spoiling the charge phase, or charge sub-phase, I guess you could say. So hopefully we get a little more details on that, whether or not we're going to have Overwatch. If there's no more snap shooting in your regular shooting phase, how's Overwatch going to be handled? -1 modifier, -2? Do you get Overwatch? We'll see. Be how shooty the game is, I think we'll still get it, but it'll probably just be modified something similar to this, maybe -2 modifier to it instead, but we'll see tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed hanging out with you. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, subscribe. I'd love to hear back from you in the comments below. What are some rumors you've heard? In these videos, I'm just discussing things that have been confirmed and, let's call it, spoiled by Games Workshop. I don't want to go to any rumors. These videos are about things that are going to happen in Warhammer 8th edition, not stuff we're just kind of guessing at. So if you've heard something that I haven't mentioned, that's why. Is that I haven't seen it confirmed as of filming of this. I haven't seen it confirmed or 100% denied by GW for sure. So that's why some of the stuff you maybe have heard isn't in the video. But I would still love to hear from you in the comments below. Love to hear some conjecture. What do you think it's going to be like? Are you excited? Are you not excited? You're going to stick with 7th? What are you going to do? Well, please let me know in the comments section down below. Like I said, like, share, subscribe. You can follow me on twitch.tv/Dave865, on Twitter @Dave2619. I love hanging out with you guys. Love this game. That's why I do it. So I would love to hear back from you about how much you love this game and what you're excited about seeing as well. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. And remember, the Emperor protects.